Hey everyone, Fallout here, and today we'll be unboxing and reviewing the Scuf Impact controller for PlayStation 4 and PC. Before we continue, I'd like to mention that this review is 100% unsponsored. I brought one of these bad boys home from GuardianCon in Tampa, Florida, and I'm here to give you my completely unfiltered and honest impressions on this controller. So, we take off the shiny, impressive-looking outer cardboard cover and open up the box, and here is what we have. I decided to go for the Team Scuf design because I thought the black, blue, and silver combo looked fairly badass. This little object down here I'm going to take out and put aside. We'll be getting back to that in just a minute. But as for the controller, I have to say I really like the size and the weight. It kind of reminds me of an Xbox 360 controller, which I did find appealing because I've never really been a big fan of the PlayStation controller. Flipping over to the back, we have 4 paddles, 2 more than the Scuf Infinity Pro, and I feel this goes without saying, but the paddles are the biggest selling point of any Scuf controller. The point of the paddles is that you can program them to copy the input of any regular button on your controller, so you don't have to take your thumbs off the joystick at any time in-game to press the buttons and instead just use the paddles. Now, you don't technically need to do that. You can actually get around this with a regular controller by playing what the kids call claw, but I find that incredibly uncomfortable, so F that, and playing on controllers with paddles is my go-to. I've been playing on the Xbox Elite controller before this for a long while, and I now find a controller with paddles to be so helpful that I literally refuse to go back. Can't make me do it. And if for whatever reason you think that 4 paddles is too many, you can just remove any of them at any time by simply pushing up on the paddle and then twisting it slightly outwards, and they just come right out. That's kind of great for me because I personally only ever felt that I really needed 3 paddles rather than 4, so that's kind of how I play. The way you program the paddles is way easier than I thought it would be. You take this little magnet thingy, which came in one of the 2 tiny bags in the box, and you attach it to the back of the controller, hold down the paddle of your choice, then hold down the button on the front of the controller you want it to match to, then let go of the button, and then let go of the paddle, and boom, onion rings. Impressed by how easy that was. Good job, Scuf. If you look here on the sides, you'll notice this funky little bumpy design, and it's to give better grip when you hold the controller. First looking at it, I thought it was kind of silly, but after holding it, I see the appeal. The controller has a good grip, and it's pretty comfortable. Let's take something out of one of the little bags that came along with the controller, and that would be the trigger extenders. If you feel so inclined, you can take the regular triggers on your controller and just pop them right off and replace them with the trigger extenders. I don't think I'll end up using these, but it's user preference, so knock yourself out. You might also notice these little tiny notches underneath the triggers, and these particular doohickeys are trigger stops, which are designed to reduce extra trigger movement past the activation point. AKA, you don't have to physically pull the trigger all the way down to the very bottom because you don't need to. Another item in one of our bags is this tiny little Scuf key that kind of looks like a pin, and you can insert this into both the trigger stops as well as these tiny holes located underneath the trigger covers, which will allow you to adjust the built-in hair trigger feature on the controller. By tweaking this, you can tell the controller how lightly you want to be able to squeeze the trigger and still fire your weapon, or whatever squeezing the trigger in the game you play does. It's adjusting the sensitivity of your trigger, which is a good feature. Now, back to this thing I took out of the box at the very beginning. This is a key you can use to unlock your joystick rings. You put it on, give it a twist, like so, and the joystick ring is now no longer locked in. You can do this if you want to take off the joysticks that came with your controller and replace them with other Scuf joysticks of your choosing. This is connected to probably my only minor gripe with the controller, and that's that it comes with no additional joysticks. They need to be acquired separately. The good news is that when you're building your controller on the Scuf website, you can pick whatever kind of joysticks you want, but if you want to change them at any point, you're going to need to pick up new ones again separately. Obviously, not a big deal by any means, but the Xbox Elite controller did come with a few interchangeable joysticks in the basic kit, which I did think was pretty cool. But anyway, with any joystick, you just push them right back in, lock it in place, put the ring back on, take your little key, lock it back in place with a quick turn, and you're good to go. And now, to give the final review of how it actually feels to play with, I need to play a few games, so excuse me.
6 hours later.
Alright, I've played a bunch, and I gotta say, I like it. Comfort-wise, it's all going to be a matter of personal preference, and after using the Xbox Elite controller for so long, it did feel a little foreign at first. But overall, the weight, the grip, the design, it all feels really good. The paddles work great, and I'm a really big fan of the adjustable hair trigger system. Price tag for this is going to be a little bit north of $150, depending on the specifics of your build on the website. But if you're a gamer looking to upgrade to a controller with paddles, which again, for me, I am literally never going back to a controller without paddles, I recommend giving the Scuf Impact a look. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this content or found it helpful in any way, please feel free to like the video or to subscribe to my channel. It is much appreciated by me. And hey, if you want to go the extra mile, and I know you do, then click the little bell icon. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.